In the heart of Rome's Esquiline Hill, hidden among the trees of Piazza Vittorio Emanuele II, stand the towering ruins of what once was the city's most spectacular fountains, the so-called Trophies of Marius. Though only a shadow of its former grandeur, this ancient brick structure tells a remarkable story that stretches from imperial ambition to medieval myth. This monument, officially known as the Nymphaeum of Alexander Severus, was constructed around 226 AD by the young emperor whose reign was marked by efforts to restore order and strengthen public services. Among his most lasting legacies was this vast three-story Nymphaeum, essentially a monumental fountain and water distribution hub, built at the junction of two major ancient roads, the Via Labicana and the Via Tiburtina. Strategically perched on one of the highest points of the Esquiline Hill, the Nymphaeum was supplied by a branch of one of Rome's greatest aqueducts, likely the Aqua Claudia, Aqua Julia, or Ania Novus. These aqueducts had carried clean water into Rome for generations, and the Nymphaeum served both as a display of imperial generosity and as a practical distribution point, sending water down to the lower quarters of the city. The structure itself was a masterpiece of Roman engineering and aesthetics. Built in brick and originally clad in gleaming marble, it stood 3-stories tall and was richly adorned with sculptures and columns. Water would cascade from an upper-level basin, pouring through channels and statues into lower basins and eventually into a vast semicircular pool at street level. The central focus of the facade was a monumental niche, likely housing a statue of Alexander Severus himself, flanked by two smaller niches. In these side niches once stood two imposing marble sculptures, war trophies carved with armor and weapons, symbolizing Roman military might. But as centuries passed and the empire faded, so too did the clarity of the monument's origins. By the Middle Ages, locals had forgotten the name of Alexander Severus. Instead, the site came to be known as the Trophies of Marius, based on the mistaken belief that the statues were relics of the victories of Gaius Marius, the legendary Roman general who defeated invading Germanic tribes in the 2nd century BC. In truth, the sculptures most likely dated to the reign of Domitian and commemorated his campaign against the Chatti and the Dacians around 89 AD. This confusion persisted for centuries. Then, in 1590, Pope Sixtus V, one of the great urban planners of Renaissance Rome, ordered the transfer of these marble trophies from the old fountain to a new symbolic location, the balustrades of the Coordinata, the grand staircase leading to the Capitoline Hill. There, they remain today, standing as silent sentinels at the entrance to the Piazza del Campidoglio, far from their original home. What remains today in Piazza Vittorio is the towering brick shell of the Nymphaeum's rear wall. Though stripped of its marble skin and sculpture, the structure still evokes awe. Visitors can see the outlines of niches, the opening of channels, and even traces of the aqueducts that once fed it. The scale alone gives a sense of the opulence that once defined Roman public works. Beyond its historical and architectural significance, the Nymphaeum of Alexander Severus holds a special place in the evolution of Roman fountain design. Its multi-level theatrical layout, water gushing from niches, descending through sculptured stages, would later inspire the dramatic Baroque fountains that define the Eternal City today, including the Fontana dell'Acqua Felice, known as the Moses Fountain, and the world-famous Trevi Fountain. So while the so-called Trophies of Marius no longer functions as a fountain and no longer bear the statues that gave its medieval name, it remains an extraordinary relic of Rome's layered history. It stands as a witness to centuries of change, from imperial propaganda to Renaissance reinterpretation, from forgotten emperor to legendary general. Like so many corners of Rome, it is a place where myth and history intertwine, carved into stone and shaped by time. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more.